Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another video. I hope you're doing really well. I'm going to get to the point of this video very soon, but I was on my way to the barn and one of the routes that I take to drive to the barn goes through the mountains. And around this time of year, when all the snow is melting, there's some really beautiful waterfalls that appear along the road. And for the last like 2 weeks, I've been wanting to stop and try to get a video or pictures of one of the waterfalls. And anyways, I decided that today was the day. So I know that's really random, but one of my mantras for this year is that I want to do the things that I know will make me happy, even if that something is as simple as stopping on the side of the road on my way to the barn and looking at a waterfall. Yeah, this video is going to be all about bodywork on Merlin, completely unrelated to roadside waterfalls. Hi you! You just know, don't ya? You want to have a little workout? When I was growing up, I was always taught and was under the impression that bodywork was for the older horse who was in work, or a horse who was in a lot of work who might need more physical maintenance than your average pleasure riding horse. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that that is simply not the case, and that bodywork has benefits for horses of all ages. Horses of all ages, like him, and disciplines and levels of physical activity. Up until this year, he has never had body work done. And through the learning and the reading and the research that I've done over the last couple of years as I've been expanding and improving my horsemanship, I've come to realize that body work can be particularly helpful and useful for horses like him who have had injuries or physical issues that have the potential to cause discomfort and physical issues in the future. So in his case, that's the OTTB chips that he had removed from 3 of his joints in April of 2021. In the weeks leading up to him coming back into work, I decided that I wanted to start him on a bodywork regimen. So I actually have a friend who's studying to be a body worker. I asked if she would be interested in taking on Merlin as a client. So at the beginning of February, she came out and did his first appointment. And since that first appointment, I've just found that the sessions that he has had have had such a wonderful impact on his body and his level of comfort, the level of tension that he holds in his muscles, and things like that. So today I thought that I would talk about the 2 different types of bodywork that I've had done on him, the findings from those bodywork sessions, as well as the exercises that the 2 bodyworkers have suggested that we take on, both in terms of like massage that I can do on him, but also riding. So I was always planning on starting to incorporate bodywork into Merlin's regular maintenance this year, but actually started sooner than I was expecting, because back in January, Merlin's farrier noted how he was, and this has been an ongoing issue, that he finds it harder to hold up his right hind leg than all the other legs. This year, the right hind leg is the leg that has persistent thrush. His trimmer is an incredible barefoot trimmer who trims along the methodology of like Pete Ramey and other barefoot legends. And she said it doesn't really make sense for him to only have that bad thrush in one foot. Normally if horses will have thrush, they'll have it in at least 2 or 3. So that combined with the fact that he was finding it difficult to hold the right hind leg up as easily as the other 3 told her that maybe he wasn't bearing weight on that leg in the same way that he was the other 3. Persistence of the thrush potentially comes from the fact that if he's not weight bearing on that leg in the same way that he is the others, the frog might not be getting the same level of impact and blood flow. She suggested, because she's also the trimmer of my friend who's studying to be a body worker, that I get her out just to look at him and do a little assessment and maybe start doing some regular sessions. So I think it was the 2nd or 3rd of February, I had my friend out for the first time. We kind of did like an overall assessment where I led him up and down. She took a look at the way he moved, both on a straight line, in a circles, turning both directions, things like that. So she did a gait analysis and she noticed that he has a slight hip sway to the right during his stride at the walk when he's walking straight. She noticed that his right hoof print is slightly lateral on a circle versus tracking up in alignment, which it should have. And also that he'll stub his toe every now and again on a circle. So the type of body work that she does is very kind of slow, gentle massage and energy work targeted at reducing the level of tension and tightness in the muscles. And this has been really beneficial, especially as I've been bringing him back into work, because she's noticed levels of tension, say in his right hind glute area, that match up with the fact that maybe he doesn't weight bear in the same way on the right hind as he does the other legs. The assessment that she did watching him move really helped me to understand the way that he might not be moving quite correctly and the things that we can do to help remedy that. I've noticed, and she has noticed, a real decrease in the level of tension, especially the areas that she noticed tightness in that first appointment since we've been doing these appointments. We do them every 4 to 5 weeks. The first one was beginning of February, and the most recent one was just a few days ago. So in addition to her giving him some TLC, she also gives me exercises that I can do regularly to help maintain that level of relaxation in his muscles throughout the time period in between appointments. After his first couple of appointments with my friend who has now become his primary body worker, his trimmer suggested having a chiro look at him as well, and she was actually able to recommend someone who she knows and who she has a really good working relationship with. So that appointment was on March 23rd, and I was eager to see what she would find. So she came out and she found a few things, but nothing major. So one of the things that she noticed was that his muscles were not tight, but she used the word taut, which basically she used instead of tight because it's more like a young horse growing quickly type tightness than a this horse has tight muscles type tightness, which makes sense to me because even though Merlin has slowed down a lot growing height-wise, he's still filling out a lot. So what she found, and I'm reading it from a session report, that he has a drop slightly forward in his right hip. He had a slight rotation through the sacral region on the right. His right hind was stronger, which was interesting. She did a mid and lower back adjustment and flexion on the right, a lateral adjustment to his mid-thoracic on the right, and he had better flexion in his hip after the release to the right. She also adjusted him in his upper thoracic on the left, and all this to go in to say that he is actually weak on the left stifle, which I'm gonna botch this explanation, but she basically said would make sense as to why he can have some discomfort on the right if he's weak on the left and is compensating on the right. And she did a knee adjustment on the right and a knee adjustment on the left. So I can guarantee that you will have understood that explanation that I just gave way better than if I had tried to record it here as I'm leading him around before getting on. So we're gonna keep it pretty chill, but I am gonna work through a few of the different exercises that the chiropractor suggested for under saddle work to help him strengthen his left side, particularly his left stifle. So I was getting ready to get on, but he's actually being a bit of a monkey. So we're just having a little walk, maybe trot on the lunge, letting him get some energy out. He's being very funny about this end since he's come back into work. So we're just gonna walk him down here so he can see the scary stuff and hopefully get over whatever it is that's bugging him, because he was not a happy camper. I was just about to start getting him ready to get on, and he just started showing signs of being particularly unsettled. So I popped him on the lunge just down here at this end, and I've mentioned in many videos that this is the end that he finds scary. So I hand walked him probably for 5 minutes, let him stop and look and investigate both corners from both directions, because as we all know, things look different from different directions. And I popped him on the lunge and we just walked, and he's so much more settled now. He's the only one I'm working with tonight, so I'm taking the time to do a really good involved session with him. Sometimes circumstances force our plans to change. I'm still hopeful that we're going to get to do some of the exercises, but we'll see where the ride takes us. It's always the way with horses, isn't it? Best laid plans. Fogged up my glasses. So I think I'm going to get on. We'll walk around and we'll see where the ride takes us.
Everybody got opinions. I'm so sick of trying to please them. I don't mean to get defensive, but I've been feeling kind of fearless. I want dangerous attention, and I really couldn't care less, no. Hopelessly so awkward, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. That's the whiskey talking, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. No, I don't give a fuck what other people want. Yeah, I'm living up tonight. Might get a little drunk, like all my ex up, mascara running from my eyes.
So one of the first exercises that the chiropractor suggested for helping to strengthen Merlin's left side, particularly his stifle, was raised trot pulls with the left side raised. So because I knew him, I knew it would take him a few times through to get used to it, so I decided to go through first going to the right so that his right side was on the side with the raised pulls. And I'm definitely glad that I did, because it took him a few times to understand it. I think next time I'll probably be able to widen the poles a little bit. Normally for regular trot poles, if I really want to make him work, I have to put them at about 5 feet, but I think this time they were at like maybe 4.5 or 4. I made it a little bit easier width-wise this time because I knew that the level of difficulty would be slightly higher by the nature of the raised poles. So this is his first time going through the poles with the left side on the raised side, and he struggled a little bit, but as you can see, the second time we went through, it was much easier. And you can see how much higher he has to lift his inside legs, so his left legs versus his right legs. So the idea is that these pole work exercises will help strengthen the muscles on his left side, particularly in his left hind area in the stifle. And I'm definitely excited to see how he improves in his agility and mobility over these poles as he strengthens and gets more experienced.
Tears on my cheeks and they sparkle like glitter. Making a mess of emotions and liquor. Tears on my cheeks and they sparkle like glitter. Hopelessly so awkward, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. That's the whiskey talking, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. No, I don't give a fuck what other people want ya. I'ma live it up tonight. Might get a little drunk, might call my ex up, mascara running from my eyes. They say I'm acting dumb, but I'm just having fun. I'll happily ruin my life. No, I don't give a fuck what other people want. I'm back on my bullshit, back on my bullshit.
Voiceover Kaitlyn again. So one of the other exercises, well, it's not really an exercise, but one of the other things that the chiro said he would benefit from is lots of transitions, particularly transitions on the right lead, which as you can see, he struggles with. And that is partly because of the weakness in his left stifle. So as we make our way through these exercises and strengthen that left side, hopefully these transitions will become easier for him. So I didn't do as many canter transitions on this day as I would during a normal ride. I think I only did 2 where we picked up the right lead, but I wanted to focus more on the trot pulls and the canter pulls today. And I'm leaving this footage quite uncut because I'm just fangirling over how he is going into the connection without me really asking. I was keeping my seat and my hand super light, and he was actually going into it without me asking. And I was so thrilled because it means that he's getting stronger. There were some really lovely moments where I was able to sit deep into the saddle and his canter felt really nice and uphill. Obviously, he still has a lot of strengthening to do, but I'm just so thrilled with how far he's come in the last few weeks that he's been back in work.
Back on my bullshit, back on my bullshit. My life is a carnival, ridiculous and wonderful. No control, no control. No, I don't give a fuck what other people want ya. I'ma live it up tonight. Might get a little drunk, might call my ex up, mascara running from my eyes.
So I promise that this will be my last voiceover of the video, but I want to just chat through some of the post-ride massage and exercises that his bodyworkers have suggested. So this first one is gentle massage back and forth along the area above his sacrum and along his withers. And this one was suggested by his regular bodyworker. Then we move to gentle massage from kind of the bottom of his withers back to his bum, and I do this on either side of his spine along his back. And these first 2 exercises help to relieve any of the tension that may have accumulated in the areas of muscle that sit under his saddle during a ride, as well as to prevent buildup of lactic acid in the muscles as we're asking him to slowly build his top line. Finally, for massage is an exercise that variations of which were suggested by both his chiro and his bodyworker, and that is slow massage from front to back along his glutes and bum muscles. And I haven't included it all because that would be really boring for you guys to watch, but basically I spend about 2 minutes on each side of his body just kind of massaging all over his bum, including kind of next to his tail, along the top of his sacrum, and along his flanks. And as you can see from this video, he does really enjoy it, and quite often he relaxes right into it, and there's a lot of licking and chewing going on, which I like to see. And this is a somewhat failed attempt at me trying to film the carrot stretches that his chiro suggested. Basically, it's to get their head around your body and kind of pointed under their belly, which will really help to engage their core. And I want to just add a super quick disclaimer that these are the exercises that have been suggested to Merlin by 2 different body workers based on their assessments of him during a session. Every horse is different and will require different maintenance and treatments, so if you're interested in starting to do exercises with your horse, I highly recommend getting a body worker or chiropractor out first just to make sure that what you're doing won't hurt them. This video is very much not a how-to, but rather just a chat about my experience incorporating bodywork into Merlin's maintenance and the different things that the 2 body workers have suggested to help upkeep his fitness and comfort. You're gonna go have a roll. Go have a roll. I don't have any more treats, buddy. You're gonna find the muddiest spot, aren't you? What are you trying to do, bud? No? Bye. So apparently he didn't have to roll, but as you can see from the footage of him licking and chewing when I was giving him his post-ride massage and exercises, he does enjoy the bodywork exercises. The ones that I do are a mixture of the ones that I was advised to do by the chiropractor and also by his regular body worker. So I hope that that aspect of this video has been maybe motivational for you to incorporate bodywork into your horse's regimen or maintenance, and I hope that you found it interesting and potentially educational. Now on to the riding part of the video. So some of the stuff that I did during this ride was above and beyond the exercises that I was advised to do. The pole work exercises that I was advised to do by his chiro were the raised poles on the left side. There were already some canter poles in a line set up, and I thought, what the hell? So he did his first little cantering through the poles. Unfortunately, the way that the pivot was set up, it didn't catch it the best. So it didn't quite catch his first time going over canter poles like that in the way that I would have liked, but alas, that is the trials and tribulations of technology. I had a lot of fun making this video. I haven't dedicated that much time to a ride or training session with Merlin in a while. One of the things about working with other horses aside from your own is sometimes, especially when your horse is younger, you don't dedicate as much time to them as you would if they were the only horse you were working with. So every now and again, I like to take a night where I don't do anything with even Safi, where I just come out and it's all about Merlin. And that was definitely what tonight was. And I had so much fun. And I think he had fun too. It was definitely the most intense ride he's probably ever had. Start to finish, it was about an hour, but that includes about 30 minutes of walking between the start and the end. Just walking that way, and also lots of walking in between trot sets and trot pole sets and cantering and all that stuff. So it definitely made him think, and it made me realize, because he was being a little like monkey and babyish at the start, but it made me realize the benefits of things like pole work and transitions to really distract him and make him think about what he's doing and focus on me. So that is definitely something that I'm going to do more of in the future, even if it's just a single pole on the ground or pylons that he has to go around or something like that. I'm going to ride him the next 2 days, but I think we're going to do stuff outside because come May, I really want to hack him as much as I can. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and hit the like button because it really does help me out. And until next time, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye!
When you're on my side, high up in the sky.